Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Alison, the online piano and online violin tutor. So this is part 3 of learning to play the violin as an adult, and all the kind of trials and tribulations that come with learning to play the violin as an adult. And part 3 is talking about motivation. But before we get into this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel and comment underneath the video, as it does help with the YouTube algorithms to help get my YouTube channel out there a little bit more. I'd also just quickly like to make everyone aware that I have a Patreon page, and for just $5 a month you'll gain access to my complete back catalogue of almost 1,000 pieces of violin sheet music, which are added to on a weekly basis, as well as MP3 backing tracks for the violin performance covers, and some easy piano music as well that cover literally every genre from Chopin to Adele and everything in between. If you are interested, further details on my Patreon page can be found in the link just under here, and I will also put a link underneath this video and in the comments as well. The violin is a very long and challenging process, and it is quite important to stay motivated with the violin. I mean, it's quite important to stay motivated with anything, really. You know, if you lose interest in anything, you've lost interest, whether it's the violin, you know, it doesn't really matter. Same rules apply. So to try and stay on top of this, you want to set yourself goals and targets. So my 1 to 30 violin course that I mention all the time, I'll put some information directly underneath, but for those of you who do or do not know, I do have a 1 to 30 violin course, which is a 100% downloadable course. The first 10 lessons are absolutely free, so if you want to learn how to play the violin, check those out. I guarantee you'll be desperate to buy the course and finish the rest of it, because my course guarantees to take you from a complete beginner to a very decent, accomplished intermediate player by the time you reach the end of the course. And yes, first 10 lessons and all the resources and materials and everything that you need for those first 10 lessons are absolutely free. Nothing is locked down until you sort of get after that, where you know you'll then want to purchase kind of the rest of the book course. My course will help you to stay on track and help you to stay motivated, because there's quite a lot of backing tracks in my course. I have good pieces of music in my course, so they're not nursery rhymes or anything like that. And I do have quite a lot of video demonstrations. So not every single piece in my course has a backing track, but when you get to Songbook 3, all of these have backing tracks with them. Now the backing tracks are really good because they give you something to play along with, rather than you playing on your own and playing unaccompanied and just playing pieces just for yourself and on your own. That's great, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's always nice to play with someone else, isn't it? Or to feel like there's someone else in the room playing with you, and the piece just sounds a lot more complete. So if you can get hold of backing tracks and things like that for any pieces that you're playing, so this isn't necessarily you know, strictly to my book course or anything like that, but just any pieces that you're playing, if you can get hold of backing tracks, I always encourage my students to play with backing tracks, or you know, ideally I accompany them on the piano. The backing tracks and things will keep you a lot more motivated, but another good reason as well is that the backing track will never stop. So as soon as you press play on that backing track, it will keep going, so it forces you to keep going. So it's almost like a competition with yourself and the backing track to keep going. So that's why I like backing tracks, just because they sound great and they do actually force you to learn, and they do motivate you, because you know it just as soon as you play anything with a backing track, it just sounds awesome, 10 times more awesome. So having really good pieces as well to play. So again, if we are talking about beginners and you guys starting out, if you are starting out on my 1 to 30 violin course, I'll link it underneath. When you've finished your lessons 1 to 10, you're going to be moving on to Songbook 1. Now the pieces in Songbook 1 have been written specifically for adults in mind. Children can play these pieces as well, obviously, but these are for adults. Now the pieces that are in Songbook 1 are Ode to Joy, that's Beethoven, Country Gardens, March by Bach, The Blue Danube, Leaving for the Last Time, which is my composition, Minuet in G, Air from War, you know, there's also Drunken Sailor in there as well. So they're all very easy, well-known classical pieces. So we're not playing any nursery rhymes or any of that kind of stuff. You know, if you want to find a book with those in, that's great. But I know that when I've been teaching adults, they don't want to play that. They want to play something that sounds, you know, a little bit more professional. They want to play something that sounds adult, don't they? So it really helps if you've got some nice motivational pieces that sound pretty decent, or as what I like to do, pieces that sound more complicated than they actually are. Everybody wants to sound better than they actually are. So a lot of these pieces are more complicated than they are. So when you hear the demonstrations, there are links in the book, the blue links that you get in the book here, and the QR code if you are offline. If you're reading this book online, you can click on this link. If you're offline, then you use your phone to look on the QR code, and then the QR code will take you to the video that you can watch on your phone or tablet or whatever. But when you hear me demonstrate the pieces sound, you'll listen to them and think, oh, I'm never going to be able to play those. They're far too complicated. But they're not. They're very simple, but I've chosen them and I've arranged them in that kind of way so that you sound much, much better than the level that you are actually currently at. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it keeps everybody motivated and it just keeps everybody kind of going along. So moving on from that, again, my demonstrations help you with that as well. So the demonstrations are more aspiring. So what it will sound like once you have nailed everything. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to catch me in part 4 of this series, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.